Budgets are not just the government's annual economic and financial report to the nation. They are also a huge political event too. And they are the moment when the Treasurer is in the spotlight.
Well, this is the one that brings home the bacon.
The budget is back in black and back on track.
Get it right, and you will hope that the public will reward you. Get it wrong, and it may just be the beginning of the end of the government. Over the past few weeks, I've been checking in with the key figures to give you an inside look at how a budget is put together. Treasurer, we want to walk back and we can talk about the budget.
These your mates?
These are my mates, yep, absolutely.
We basically start it the day after we release the mid-year budget update. So usually in the middle of December, and then we'll sit down and scope out what we think the major components of the budget are going to be. We commission a whole bunch of work. We get literally hundreds and hundreds of bids from colleagues, and we begin meeting the expenditure review committee to try and whittle it down into our absolute highest priorities.
The Expenditure Review Committee is a cabinet of senior politicians which considers new spending proposals and whether old policies should be continued. Finance Minister Katie Gallagher is the crucial politician, giving the thumbs up or thumbs down.
Probably one of the most frequent things that the Finance Minister says is no, but look, our colleagues are really good, they understand. You can't do everything in one budget, it's a work over time.
I mean, what's your feeling, when you walk around the big cities of Australia or even the regions? How's it feel in terms of activity?
I think it's slowed considerably, and that's what happens when you have rate rises spanning the last election. But I think we're seeing the impact of that, plus a fair bit of global economic uncertainty as well playing out here. One of the things that gives me confidence we can get through it is the labour market's been in really good nick. Real wages are growing again. There are some parts of our economy which have proven to be particularly resilient, business investment. So I think we are in a pretty soft patch, but we've got a whole bunch of advantages that we will rely on to get ourselves through.
Okay, nice to see you.
Laura.
Okay,
see you again soon.
Yep, okay. Dr. Stephen Kennedy is the 19th Secretary of the Federal Treasury. Behind his desk in Canberra sit copies of all the federal budgets going back to 1901.
Hey Laura, great to see you.
Yeah, good to see you too. Thanks for making time.
Oh no, pleasure.
We start our visit at the Treasury looking at that first budget.
There were 5 officers sworn to the Treasury at that stage, and it's literally just a set of tables
Furniture.
Talking about telephones, electric lights, what was spent in furniture in the Department of Home Affairs. It's really the beginning of the federal government. It wasn't until 1907-08 that we saw budget papers that are a little bit more familiar to what we see today, which have, for example, the budget speech at the front.
Was there much spin in the budget speech?
That's a really good question, Laura. I haven't looked at it closely, but all the treasurers I've worked with have always been quite straightforward about their numbers and the outlook. Now, Laura, can I show you the days till budget?
Absolutely.
So here it is, the budget countdown. 6 days to go.
Is there a ceremonial crosser outer? Is that your job?
No, it's not. No. The staff are much better with numbers than what I am, so they do the crossing out.
Well, that's reassuring.
So this is where everyone from budget policy is working, as I said, flat out. Getting documents ready, making sure basically they're ready for printing. Sometimes it's getting charts. There's just, as I said, a large array of materials that are going to be prepared.
And what about all those economic forecasts? I mean, there's been a lot of talk in the last few weeks about changes in the international situation and things like that.
Yes.
How vulnerable is all of that architecture to some, last-minute shock in the last 4 or 6 weeks?
So we have to take assumptions around oil prices, exchange rates, starting points for commodity prices. We have already taken those through the course of April. But we'll keep watching them all the way up to the budget. We wouldn't be changing them, to be honest, this late in the piece.
When the leaves turn red on this maple tree in a courtyard in Parliament House, it's a sign that the budget is almost ready to go. One of the last pieces of the budget puzzle to arrive are the estimates of tax collections. This year, falling commodity prices have slashed earlier hopes of a tax windfall, and in the last couple of weeks, the government has had to cut back expectations of a budget surplus as the revenue numbers have come in.
We have a lot of the revenue numbers we need by late April, but even running through to the budget, we're still getting updates from the ATO about how the numbers are running through.
Oh,
Hello.
hello. Yes.
Hello.
It's been a few weeks since we caught up with the Treasurer in Sydney. The economic outlook has changed considerably. How much has it changed? Not just the economic and budget implications, but the way you have to sell it politically.
Oh, it gets tweaked as we go, but I don't think it's fundamentally changed on this occasion.
That's right.
It's really about making sure that most importantly of all, the decisions are calibrated to the conditions, and the conditions evolve. They don't stay exactly the same. We try not to overreact or underreact to one little piece of data.
So have you written your speech yet?
I've had a couple of drafts of the speech, haven't finished it yet. I try really hard not to be giving a 40-minute speech in a 29-minute window, which has happened to some of my predecessors in the past.
It has. And of course the spin factor in a Treasurer's speech has increased quite a lot since that 1907 budget.
So I think the explaining part of being the Treasurer is a really important part of it. And so I don't use the word that you've just used, Laura, nor will I even repeat it, but I see it as explaining, and it's important.
Then the big day.
Good morning, Tony Matthews with ABC News. Tonight's budget is expected to include a major shape.
All the work has been done at Treasury. The action moves to Parliament House. The media will spend 6 hours locked away reading the budget papers and preparing to report on it. Finally, at 7:30, the Treasurer rises in the House of Representatives to deliver his budget speech to the House and therefore the country.
I call the Treasurer.
Mr. Speaker, the budget we present to the Australian people tonight provides